Welcome to the Creating Wealth and Wellness podcast. Your hosts, Amanda Kingsley and Tara Misseldine, team up to take you on a journey where freedom is cultivated through personal development, where women connect to fuel their futures, and where wealth is created as a byproduct of being well.
Welcome to 2018 and Happy New Year's, everybody. We're so glad that you joined us in our new year of the Creating Wealth and Wellness podcast. And I am I think I'm the most excited that I have been for today's episode. It is Live Your Why with Amanda Kingsley. And everybody, her presentation today is actually her living into her why. I'm pretty confident about that. So, Amanda, we always start our episodes with a shout out to one of the reviews that we've received on iTunes, followed by our gratitudes for today. So I just want to share this, and I think it's very timely considering you're the one that's going to be sharing an awesome episode with us today. And it is from Mac1309, and it says, "Love it. Amanda is such a warm and encouraging human. So loving getting to hear this podcast." Thank you, Mac. I totally agree. She is a warm and encouraging human, and I also love her. So there you go.
My head is tingling.
There's some love to get you all puffy before your awesome presentation. So what do you have to be grateful for today, Amanda?
I think I talked about this many episodes back, but I'm going to go with seasons again. So now that it's winter and there's snow, and I'm not a big fan of the transition to a new season, but once I'm in it, I'm just totally digging it. I really appreciate living in a place that has change, right? Like change is actually really hard for me. It's not one of my favorite things. But I love the challenge of it because one of my favorite things is a challenge. And so I'm just digging winter right now. I'm digging that we live in a place with such drastic seasons. Awesome.
Me too. I love that too. I am grateful for puppies and kittens. By the time, it is New Year's. So in early December, we got a new puppy, and it was 8 weeks old when we got her. And she is just she's an enormous little ball of magic. She is almost as big as my 30-pound 8-year-old dog. And she is so sweet and so smart and such an amazing addition to our family. So at the very tail end of 2017, we got a brand new kitten and a brand new puppy, and everything is better than well. It is so much fun, and just it warms your heart to be snuggled by these baby animals who just adore you. So it's pretty awesome. Feeling very blessed with all of my baby animals surrounding me.
I love it. I'm going to guess that if we were to dig into your why, the choice to get both your kitten and your puppy would be deeply intertwined to your why and how you want to live life on this planet.
I would believe you if you suggested that. It definitely feels very authentic, and I just love them, and there is nothing like hearing the giggle of my 3-year-old while she is like being smothered by all of her pets, and
oh my gosh,
how much they all just love each other. And they're, I get to envision them growing up together, and her getting to spend her entire childhood with this puppy and kitten who just love her to death. So it's very, very, I love everything about it. There's lots more layers than that, but just the simple joy of hearing laughter and seeing them all rolling around in a laughing pile is pretty awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, Amanda.
All right. Well, I have no idea how we're going to cram this into 15 minutes. But
life's work in the next 15 minutes.
The good news is that this is really very much a focus of my 2018 is to just speak the same message over and over and over and over again. And I've had this hesitation, when something feels so supernatural to you, and you're living it, you forget that it's beneficial to keep repeating over and over again and to keep it simple. And I have a tendency to be like, oh, well, I already did that layer, so let's make it even more complicated. And that's not what the world needs. Like, we just need the same simple message over and over and over again so that we can live fuller, brighter, more joyful lives with our puppies and our kids and our businesses and our podcasts. And so I'm going to do my best to dig into Live Your Why, which is really very much a theme of what I do. It's actually a 9-week program that I offer. It is a module program with 6 different modules, but I have one-on-one coaching all the way through it. Tara and I are walking through that, so that's exciting. But I think the why is, and Tara, feel free to jump in anytime you're like, I gotta say something. Otherwise, I'm just gonna talk and talk and talk because I love the why so much. But I think that the why can be really intimidating for some people. I think when life feels overwhelming and intense and busy, and someone says to you like, well, what's your purpose? What's your why? You kind of want to just throw your hands in the air and walk away. Like, it can be a little intimidating. And my mission really is to simplify the why and make it applicable to all of your life, right? It's not just a business thing. It's not just a mission-driven purpose thing. It's like, how can I make this so simple and use it as a filter in everything I do? And so I kind of think my version of the why that I talk much more about is literally one word. And the one word is a feeling. And so we're going to talk about that going forward. I think there is another why. There's many ways that people look at this. And that could be like a mission statement or a much like more detailed purpose, but that takes a lot of self-discovery and a lot of personal development to sort of come to. And what I love about the one word why is that I can have like a 10-minute conversation with someone and get them to a why that they feel really good about and can immediately implement and move forward with. So that's sort of my twist on the why. I think it's a lot simpler than what people fear. All right, so the reason that we want this one word, this why in our lives, is that it keeps us focused, right? When we don't have that thing to focus in on, especially a thing that we can weave into every element of our life, it can get really blurry. It can feel really overwhelming. It can feel like the to-do lists are adding up and you don't know what to do next and you don't know where to turn and you don't know who to trust. And when you have a why that's as simple as one word, it really allows you to focus in, simplify, get grounded, and make a choice that you feel good about and that will lead you in the direction you want to go. So that's really my goal with the one word why, is that it becomes like a filter and a focus for you to live by. And so how do you know what that is, right? How do you know? And I think it's so much simpler than people think. And it's about a feeling. For me, I want to, like I said, you can go much deeper into your why and you can sort of create a mission statement and a purpose and a like a mini sentence or paragraph goal. But what I want is for someone to identify the feeling that they want to have most of the time in their life. Like, Tara, and we'll do deeper work here, but not on this podcast. Can you think of one feeling? Like, if you were to have one feeling fill most of your day, what would it be?
It would be like the feeling of excitement or joy or adventure.
Joy is a really common one that comes up for people. Joy, presence, peace, purpose. It's sort of like, I want to feel purposeful. And there's like all kinds of ways you can twist the word. Like for me, my word is I want to feel free. So I want a sense of freedom in my life. And I'm not going to dig into what that means for me, but that's the feeling I want to have. I want to feel open and free and expansive. So it's really just identifying, like, what is the feeling you want to have more than any other feeling? And then being able to use that. And so when you forget to use that, when you forget to just check back in with your one word, like how simple is it to check back in with one word? It's not that hard. But we forget to, right? And so when we forget to, we start to feel lost. We feel afraid. We feel stressed. We feel depressed, frustrated, confused, overwhelmed. Like all these icky feelings start coming in. And when you can shift your focus again and go back. So if, we'll take Tara for example, if she's feeling really stressed about a deadline, really stressed about something happening in her family life or with a peer at work, she can let that stress eat her alive and be focused on that. Or she can go, whoo, deep breath. What's my why? My why is joy. And that might not end up, we're just taking that from this podcast, but let's just say Tara's word is joy. That is her why. She can just take a deep breath and go, I want to feel joy. How can I rearrange my thoughts and my situation just a little bit, just a tiny bit, to bring joy into this, what feels like a really stressful thing? That might be with gratitude. It might be with restructuring thoughts. It might be with intention. And that's what we dig into in the program, the tools to actually use your why. But when she can come back to that word, I'm guessing if Tara thinks about being stressed and then Tara thinks about joy, there's like a physical shift in her body. Like there's an actual physical shift just by changing where your focus goes from stress to joy. And so that's the goal, is learning and understanding as many tools as you can to come back to your why, back to your feeling, and infuse it into your life again. And so I think that there's really 5 places that your why is most important, right? So there's 5 keys to success. And when I say success, and I'm talking about just like living a balanced life, right? And I think those 5 places that everything in your life can fit into somewhere are health, wealth, love, community. That can be small community, big community, just community, sense of connection to other people and a purpose, and self-expression. So self-expression is like creativity. And so I really believe that you can plug anything in your life into one of those 5 categories. And I think that when we can understand our why as one word through those 5 categories, we can dig a little bit deeper, right? That's what 2018 is about for us in this podcast, is dig a little bit deeper and go, if my why, I'll just take my why, right? Free. My why is free. If I want to feel free in my health, what does that look like? And I can just sort of pound out a bunch of words that freedom and health mean to me. And ultimately, when I kind of smush all those words together, I feel nourished, right? Like I feel nourished by fresh air. I feel nourished by healthy food. I feel nourished by mindfulness. So that's, to me, like you can just dig a little deeper and go, what does freedom in my health look like? And so when I go to make a choice, like I'm really hungry and I'm driving to a meeting that I'm late for, I can ask myself, like, how do I live my freedom in this moment? I want to feel nourished, so I'm going to stop at the grocery store and grab a to-go sushi instead of a Big Mac at McDonald's, right? So I can live my why in all of my choices when I understand how I want to feel in life. Is that making sense to you, Tara?
It totally does. And, when I'm kind of thinking about what my why word is, it would actually probably be adventure, because that's
I see that word for you.
Everything. And when I think about, like how could I live adventure in health, there's things that immediately come to mind. How can I live adventure in love? Things come to mind. And I love this. And it's so interesting because I love your word as well. like freedom is huge for me. We're both explorers. We both
Right.
speak that language, and mine's just tweaked just a little bit. Like it needs to be free to have fun. Like it needs to be free to be
Yeah.
enthusiastic, um, and it's so interesting that it leads to different choices in each of these categories.
It does. And just because you have a word doesn't mean it's your word forever. Like free has been my word for a few years now, probably about 3 years. But I anticipate that as I grow and change, that word might grow and change. It's just going to feel better to put a different word on because I'm a new person. I'm a different person. So another thing about any sort of growth and development is don't get stuck anywhere, right? Like I ask myself frequently, I'm not going to say daily, but let's say every few months, I'll do a little review. Like, is free still my word? Is that still serving me? Is that still allowing me to make choices that feel good? And I might get to a point where I'm like, that's not really the filter I want to use anymore. And so my why might shift. But yeah, it is. Isn't it funny how it's just like this subtle tweak, and adventure is a little bit different than freedom to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's finding that word that really just makes you like alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
It like makes you feel alive. Like your cells of your body start dancing again. You're like, that's my word. That feels really good. That brings me back out of stress. That brings me back out of like, I'm sick in bed. How can I feel better in this moment? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I really started digging into this concept of these 5 different places and how they integrate into our why. I was on a plane between Beijing and Shanghai, and I was like scribbling on a napkin. And I started like, I wanted to remember them because I wasn't like writing as fast as I could. And I was like, cool, I have 5 fingers. So for me, the why can really, like, I can remind myself very quickly through my 5 fingers, right? And my 5 fingers are health, wealth, love, community, and self-expression. And so it's this tool that I always carry with me. Always. I mean, there are people listening who may not have 5 fingers, but most of us do. And so those people can get more creative, like, I don't know, they've got the bones in their hand. But it's a tool that I can remind myself. I've always kind of been into hands, which is maybe interesting, but it's a way that I can like step back and go, I'm not really finding where to use my why right now. And I can kind of go through those 5 places. Like, what am I missing? What's off balance here? Which of these like quadrants of my life need attention in my why? And so I think that's just kind of a cool coincidence that I really love these 5 categories and they fit into all my fingers.
That is pretty cool. There's also like a real spiritual thing to the 5, like, you know, the 5-pointed star. And, you know, I do a lot of work with the elements, the 5 elements.
Yes.
So there's also like a lot of just magic, the pentacle and all of that. So it's very, very, very cool. I like that it's 5. Yeah. And I can't think of anything that's not included within these either.
I've done a lot of searching and I haven't found a category that I don't think, or an experience or an event or a topic that doesn't fit into one of those categories. So of course you're getting like a little, well, this sort of fits in love, but it also fits in creativity. I mean, they all blend. They all come into the palm of your hand, right?
Mm-hmm. Actually, when I'm looking, I don't want to derail the conversation, but I think each of these actually points to one of the 5 elements, which is really cool. I'll share that with you offline.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe I'll make a comment on Facebook. Kind of cool. I don't want to derail it though. Don't let me.
How are we doing on time?
I think we still have a full minute left before the timer goes off. But take whatever time you need to complete. Like
some super quick suggestions, and you can take them or not. But if and when, well, first of all, like, please reach out to me. Like, the Live Your Why program is was created so that we could, this is just the beginning of it, right? Like this is just step one. And then we move through 6 modules of like digging deeper. How do you actually implement this? Because you can listen and go, that's a cool idea, but now what? I don't really know what to do. Yeah. So that's why I really wanted it to be a one-on-one program where we could have a conversation about it. And you can say to me, it's mostly working, but here's where I'm getting stuck, and we can just talk about it. But what I suggest, whether you work with me or not, is to share your why with someone, like a partner. It could even be your kid. And you can even just say that word, be like, hey, when mommy's stressed, remind me about freedom. Just say freedom and I'll smile and I'll sort of like shift out of it a little bit. But share it with someone, like have someone not hold you accountable, but like remind you that that's important to you. And so when you are getting off track, because a lot of times other people can see us getting off track before we can even see it happening, if you have a close accountability, somebody who knows your why, they can just remind you, and that can be really helpful. And to if it's as simple as one word, right? So write it on a Post-it note, write it on a beautiful piece of paper, craft it out in mosaics. I don't care what you do, but put it in places where you see it and are reminded. Make it your cell phone cover, make it your computer desktop screen. But none of this work is about hearing it once and going, oh, that's cool, now I'm done. It's about daily action. It's about embodying your why, taking the time to feel it, remembering to check back in. And that's when it really starts to make a difference in your life, when it becomes a part of your daily practice, when it's like a part of who you are is your why.
Okay. So I'm sure that there's a lot of people listening who don't actually know their why yet. They might have an idea of where to go, Absolutely. Like what angle to look in when they're looking for it. But I've even heard a lot of people say that their why is their child or something like that. And to dig beneath what that actually means. So exactly. I want you to take a minute and actually talk about your program, which is titled Live Your Why. Tell everybody where they can find it, because if they don't know exactly what their why is yet, it's hard to verbalize, or if they don't necessarily have somebody that they feel like they could hold as an accountability partner for that. I know that there's a personal one-on-one component to your program. So tell us about the program and how to find it.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for bringing that up, because a lot of people will give that answer. My why is my child. My why are my children. My why is my aging parents. And I really encourage people, like you said, to go deeper than that. It might look like that on the surface, but it's about a lot more. And when you can get to that next level, that next layer, is when you really can take off in the world and just live fuller and brighter. So my website is Amanda Starr. It's actually my middle name, AmandaStarrKingsley.com. And you'll find the Live Your Why program there. And it gives you a brief overview of what the modules are. So it's a 9-week program. The first week we set some goals and talk about where you're at and where you want to go and what you want to get out of it. And then we dig into your why. We really figure out, is this my word? Is this not my word? I really think my why is my children. Help me get to a word. So we really dig in there. And then the next week we actually talk about your health. We talk about understanding your health physically, spiritually, emotionally. And we really look at tools to implement your why into your health, your emotional health, your physical health, your spiritual health. And all of this comes with daily work and checking in with me, obviously. The next week, we talk about your thoughts. So what are the thoughts you're having that are creating the results in your life? And how can we weave your why into those thoughts to give you the results that you want in your life? The next module is about asking questions. So the quality of your questions really lays the foundation for the quality of your life. And so we talk about how to turn our thoughts and our statements and our beliefs into questions. And when you're able to do that, if you follow me at all, Instagram, Facebook, like anywhere, I'm really into asking good questions. I even created a card deck, which is like an Oracle inspiration deck, to go with this program. So participants of this program will walk away with the Live Your Why deck.
I saw just a little preview of this. I did not get to actually look at them in depth, but they look so cute, and I can't wait to get one.
Yeah, and it is all about questions to remind you what the tools are that we walked through. And the next section is about money, because it's obviously such a brief interview into our money beliefs, but it's huge. It's a huge topic for most of us. So then we talk about money. And finally, in the next week, we talk about intention. So setting good intentions so that you get the results that you want. And so we walk away with like 6 tools to really understand our lives and understand how to make choices that are getting us where we want to go, because none of us are just plateaued. We're either headed where we want to go or not where we want to go, like in one slight direction or another. So I want us to make choices that, if anyone's read The Slight Edge, it's a great way to understand that. But like every choice we make is leading us somewhere. So we might as well make ones that are leading us where we want to go. And so that's what the toolbox will really do for people. So did that help? I hope that helps answer your questions.
Yes,
I don't know if there were more.
It does. But, well, no, I wanted to know a little bit about or I wanted everybody to know more about the program and where to find it.
Yeah. I want to
So,
say one other thing about the program, which is that I have always had a really strong calling to work with young women, so like 18 to 22. And so for every month that my client load gets, that my schedule gets nice word, filled with paying clients, I'm actually giving away 9 weeks of the whole program to a young woman ages 18 to 22, because these are the things I wish I learned when I was 18 to 22. But when you're 19, you don't always want to spend the money to invest in yourself or understand why that's important. So,
or you don't have it.
Yeah, or you don't have it. And so I wanted to find a way that I could give back to that population of women. And so I decided to do that. Every time I get in a certain number of paying clients, I'm going to give a space away in that, because it feels really important to me.
How are you finding those women to give that away to?
You can go right on the website. So there's a place to either ask to be take one of those scholarship spots. You can actually nominate someone else for one of those scholarship spots. Or you can donate financially to the program. Let's say you don't want to do the program yourself, but you want to help a young woman do the program. You can actually donate. So that's all on the website, and you'll find the 3 ways that that program is taking shape.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, man, that was really long.
Wait. That is okay. Who cares?
It's the new year.
We have the power. Happy New Year. It's a party. All right, Amanda, that was so great. Thank you so much. I wanted to just kind of tease myself because I totally forgot to end our last podcast episode of 2017 with an ask. So I guess it's okay that we only focus on gratitude. But do you have an ask directly for everybody to end this episode?
I do. So I'm curious what I'm just going to say favorite, but if you have a few and you can't decide, like, what were 1 or 2 of your favorite books from 2017 that I might, or other listeners might want to integrate into their 2018?
Cool. So tell us on Facebook, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. And I'm actually just going to piggyback on that one. I love that one. I'm actually in the market for a couple of books to start my new year off with. So I'm going to piggyback that. Double important to tell us what your favorite books were so that we have a reading list coming into the new year.
Fun. That'll be great for everyone to chime in on and enjoy together.
Yeah, awesome. I think I'll also respond because I did read a couple of awesome books this year, and I'll share what I read. Okay, sweet. So Thanks, Amanda. That was awesome. I cannot wait to do
I'm
your
looking
program.
forward to next week when we dig into Tara.
No, that's not next week.
Oh, you're right.
That's coming soon. I have to wait for a couple of things to like finally drop for it to be.
I know. I keep bugging Tara. I'm like, come on, let's go. She's like, no, not quite yet.
Yeah, but you will hear from me next week and from Amanda because we're actually going to be talking about our word of the year,
which is a little different than your Y word.
Oh, it is a little bit different. All right, cool. I can't wait for that. And Happy New Year.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for another episode. If you haven't already done so, please do us the honor of leaving a rating and review on iTunes and check in with us on social. Amanda Kingsley is a work-from-home mother of 3. Her mission is to empower others to live fuller lives. Learn more about her at her website, amandastarkingsley.com. Tara Missildine is a passionate entrepreneur founding several businesses over the last 15 years. She's currently living the adventure of being a CEO, mom, and collaborative coach. Find her at allin.life.